Well, now let's talk about how to generalize it. So basically now I have three functions: the start browser, the visit URL, and also this running part. So let's say that this is the one that eventually I'm gonna execute all of those steps. But I do need to generalize that. For example, here, the URL, I can, instead of define the URL here, I can put it as a parameter. All right, so if I use a parameter, then I don't have to define anything here. This becomes a generalized function. Instead, I can put the URL here and visit this, run this function with the parameter. And now we're going to make that as a module, which means that we're going to further generalize that. So these things we're going to replace that with a parameter. So basically, this part can be a parameter, right? So let's say that this one is kind of, it is a URL, which is a parameter. Okay, so this is the first part, right? So the next is that, like the search box is also a parameter, right? So this is like the select one, which is a parameter, and actually it points to something like as an input box. So what else? So the search string is another one. So let's say the search string is another thing that we can put as a parameter. So what else? The submit button is also something. So we're gonna replace this one. I can say that this is the submit button is also this. So now we have this search box. For example, we have a URL. We're going to go to this URL. In the search box, we're going to type something, and then we're going to hit the button. And that's basically what we want to do. So what are these? So these are a field and a value. So we can wrap these four things into an object, which is sort of like a dictionary or whatever, right? So we can wrap it, and now we can give a name for this this object. Let's call it parameters. Like this. Okay. And now again, we can change that part into a function. Let's call it module 1, for example. So in this, we can pass the parameters into this function. Well, with the settings active, we can replace all of the fixed values with this parameter stuff. Like we have this URL defined here. We're going to use the URL in this parameters object. We're also going to use the search box defined in the search box. We're also going to use the search string defined here. We are even going to use the delay seconds defined in this parameters, and also this buttons. Okay, so with all of that, then we're going to define, we defined this parameter, and then we're going to, again, remember that we have to use an async function, and inside it we're going to run this module 1, which is this module. Let's see what's going to happen. Well, actually, it's going to do exactly the same. It's going to go to this URL, going to type in the search string, hit the button, and then find the stuff. It will be the same. Okay, so why are we going to do this? Because now we're going to make it generalized. Imagine this is the case that we're going to Walmart and try to find this coffee grinder. But imagine that actually we're going to do another thing, but we don't have to do any programming. We just have to reset the parameter. For example, this time we're going to go to Best Buy and search for a mouse product. So these are the settings. Basically, it follows the same principle that go to an URL, find the right search box, input a search string, find the right submit button and click it, and that's it. So let's just run this. Well, so it goes to Best Buy this time, and it starts to type the new search string, hit the button, and now we have on this page we're going to have a list of the mouse products. Well, we can make it more crazy. Now I've rearranged that. So now we have these two sites. What we can do is that instead of using that as a var, we can say that var sites, okay, is, and then I'm going to have a big objective in which there are two objectives. All right. So the first one is like so it is going to be like the site is so the first one is the Walmart CA, or just Walmart. Alright, so this will be an objective. Okay. Alright, so this object is going to have two elements. One is the site, the other is the parameter, right? And then I'm going to copy the same layout, but this time for the second one, well, you can imagine that the second one, the site is called the Best Buy, right? And I don't need this var. I'm going to change that to say that the parameters is this. Right. Okay, so after that I'm going to wrap that with a parameter. So eventually it will be like this. So we have a collection of sites. This is a collection by square brackets. And inside we have multiple sites. The first one is Walmart, which is the name, and then we have the parameters, and the second is Best Buy. So now in this async function, what we're going to do is that first we're going to initiate this browser, and then we're going to loop for each item in the sites collection. Note that for each does not work here because you're still going to use an await function inside, and for each does not recognize that, so it's not going to work there. Anyways, so we're going to use the loop to find the length of that, and then I'm going to do that. And basically what it does is that it is going to loop for each site and go there and search for different things. And finally we're going to, once all of that is done, then we're going to close this browser. So now let's just run all of that. So it's going to launch the browser and open up a new page. And first to go to Walmart. because in the settings we said that the first is to go to Walmart, the first site, okay, and once it is where is it? Yeah, so once it is done, then it's going to go to Best Buy, and it's going to type the Logitech and find the mouse there. And once the mouse is found, everything is done, then it is going to close it. Alright, so I'm going to stop there so you can add more into the list of it. Basically, these are the same things. So next we're going to think about